This video is going to be nothing about diet. It's going to be nothing about training. It's going to be nothing about supplementation, which is going to be a shock to you because every single video that you've probably ever clicked on when it comes to losing fat, building the body of your dreams, has always evolved around those things right there. But I'm now somebody that's worked probably close to with 1,000 people in getting them to their dream body. And out of those 1,000 people, some people smash it, right? Some people get the body which they like. They achieve that transformation which completely changes their life. Some people make a little bit of progress, and some people make no progress. And whatever you do, you give them more food, you give them less food, you give them a different training program, you tell them to do this. Whatever it is, with these people, something never seems to change. And I spent a lot of time sitting on this idea and trying to work out what is the difference between somebody that makes a life-changing transformation versus somebody that can't get going, versus somebody that tries and just never sees any results, or even those people that start to make a transformation and they lose some weight, they start to build some muscle, but then ultimately they regress back to where they were. And I've come to understand that the one principle which governs not only whether the fact that you're going to achieve your dream body, but everything in the entire universe is based on the belief of that you're worth that dream body. Now, to some of you, this is going to seem far-fetched. To some of you that don't understand or aren't in tune with energy and the way in which universal laws work, or even that you're in sync with kind of higher powers and the conscious and the subconscious mind, this is going to go straight through you. But for those of you that are, I want you to tune into this. Because all of us, to some extent, have heard of something called the law of attraction. It's very, very simple. You attract what you are. And that happens with careers, that happens with businesses, that happens with relationships, right? You notice that when you're in a positive version of yourself, you naturally attract more positive things. When you're in a happier place, you attract a happier relationship. But when you're in a toxic place, more toxic things come towards you. Toxic people, toxic situations, toxic jobs, toxic environments. And I think we've been incredibly naive to think that this does not happen with your body. And reflecting upon some of those cases of people which haven't been able to achieve their dream body, or they've been doing all the stuff right, or maybe they've been doing a decent chunk of the percentage of the things which they need to do in order to achieve the result in which they're looking for, they still cannot get there. And the reason every single time, without shadow of a doubt, is because they do not believe they are worth that body. They have low self-worth, low self-esteem, to the point that they are repelling away that physique which they want. They are pushing that so far away because they don't believe that they are worth it. And again, we go back to those universal laws. We attract what we are. We can only have what we are. To have wealth, we have to be of someone that is wealthy. To attract abundance into our life, we have to be an abundant person. To be a lucky person that is open to miracles happening to us, we have to be lucky intrinsically. We have to have this lucky self-belief. We have to expect miracles. And this then ties into the law of assumption. You've also got the law of detachment, where this could come in, is when you detach from a goal, or you assume you're going to get a goal, you're more than likely to achieve it. And especially when it comes to the law of assumption, like when you assume something, you naturally receive it, right? If you assume that someone's going to be polite to you, they're going to be polite to you, like more often than not. If you detach from the idea that you want a lot of money, normally a lot of money actually does come to you. And the reason why detachment works, as an example, is because you don't put something on a pedestal. When you naturally put something on a pedestal, you pedestalize, I think that's a word, something. You put it out of reach. You basically go, that's up there. I'm not worth achieving that. I can't do it because it's up there. And whenever you put something above you, of course, you're never going to be able to attract that, because You don't believe you're worth it. And everything in your life, to have the things in which you have, and you can do this, this is an activity for you to do now. Everything you've got in your life, you have been aligned with. You believe that you've been worth acquiring that thing, whether it be the car you drive, the outfit that you're wearing, whether it be your friends or even the relationship in which you've manifested into your life. You truly believe that you're worth these things, and that's why you've attained them. But when it comes to getting the body in which you like, you don't believe you're worth that. And for that reason, you cannot attract that dream body to you. It is impossible. You can do the work, you can track your food, you can do the weights, you can do this. But ultimately, if you don't believe that you're worth it, it's never going to come to fruition in your life. Ever. And this is a common theme in which I've ran into with every single person that struggles to get what they want when it comes to their physique. And this applies to everything in life. If there's something in which you like, but you don't believe you're worth it, you're never going to achieve it. Because that's not the way in which the world works, right? That's not the way in which the universe works. It's not the way in which energy works. Everything is reciprocated. Everything is in this form of synchronicity where the energy you put out has to be given back. Good karma, bad karma, however you look at it, you put good things out into the world, you attract good things back. You put good energy into the world, good things naturally come back to you through good energy. Yet when it comes to achieving your dream body, people don't do it. And they're like, I wish I could have this body. I wish I could do this. That's my dream body. And even the words, that's my dream body, you're repelling that away from you. Because when you say dream, you're putting that out of reach from what you can physically attain. And that is every single person's problem that cannot achieve their dream physique, is that they truly don't believe that they are worth attaining that thing. And this came to me because of doing a lot of deep diving on myself and the things in which I wanted in life and the things in which I had and the things in which I didn't have. And again, it boiled down to the fact that the things in which I believed I was worth having, I had. And the things that I didn't believe I was worth having, at times I didn't have. An example, I am not the person that's worth and is worthy of having a beautiful relationship in my life. I'm not that person yet. I won't attract that until I am the person for that. And people do this, right? They love out of a place of lack of self-love. And as a byproduct, they're never going to find a happy, loving relationship because they haven't found that happiness and love within inside themselves. If you can't find something intrinsically, you're never going to be able to attract the rawest, purest form of that into your existence. So for that reason, this same concept applies when it comes to achieving your dream body. And no matter what you do, whatever you do with your training, whatever you do with your diet, it's not going to get you there. Or even if you do get there, you will almost always end up back to where you was, because that is what you believe that you're worth. That is what you believe aligns with you, and you will always be attracted like a fucking magnet. You will be like, this is the body in which I want. You would have put the work in to get there. And you see this with people, right? You see people do this transformation and all of a sudden they've got this incredible body, but then they go back to the version of themselves which they were before. And they've, as quickly as they got the dream body, they're back to their old body. And you think, what happened? That person's intrinsic value and intrinsic attitude didn't reciprocate that of feeling like they're worth this thing. So even when they got there, they were always like a magnet being drawn back to this old version of themselves, of their physique and their body in which they thought they wanted and they deserved. Every single time. You cannot avoid this. Ever. You have to believe, delusionally believe, and I say delusional, not in a word as if what you're asking for is delusional, because everything is a delusion, because illusion isn't real. Illusion is simply your perspective of reality in which we live in. Therefore, everything in of itself is a delusion. You have to be delusional about that body in which you like and want and say, I deserve that. And until you can have that and belief about yourself, about the body in which you want, about the sort of way you want to look in clothes, the way you want to look without your clothes on, it's never going to happen unless you truly believe that you are worth it. It's unavoidable. You can do all of this external work. And people always say, oh, it's mind over matter. And it is, but what really should happen with mind over matter is you force matter to change your mind. But what people try and do is they try and bend reality with matter. They smash their cardio, they're bullying their body into submission, but that doesn't change their mind in the end. So people always say, oh, this game is about mind over matter, but well, they're doing it in reverse. They're trying to force matter to affect and bend their perspective of their mind and their intrinsic value of themselves. Therefore, they do get there, but eventually they revert back because that is matter over mind. But what mind over matter is saying, I deserve this. This is what I expect. This is what the version of me deserves to attain. This is in alignment with who I am, my beliefs, myself, my thoughts, my intrinsic values about me. Therefore, I deserve this thing. And until you bridge the gap between what you believe you want and what you actually want, and like these two are in direct alignment, you will never get there. You have to be delusional about achieving this physique, the same way that you're delusional about having a body in which you hate. Because right now, there's a large part of you, if you're still here, that isn't there, that deep inside you truly doesn't believe that you're worth that body. And that's why you don't have it. And as soon as you can reframe that belief, you can change your perspective on yourself, your internal self-worth, who you are, what you deserve, what you believe you deserve to have. Nothing's going to happen. And you can start to bend matter, like I said. But unless that matter starts to transform the way in which your mind works, which does happen with some people, they force reality, and then reality shows them signs back of, yep, you're deserving of this, and then they start to inherit that belief but if that doesn't happen, you're going to go back to zero every single time. You will arrive with ultimately what you think you deserve. And for that reason, if you don't think you'll deserve that body, you won't have it. And that is a secret. That is a secret that nobody understands. That is a secret that no transformation coach will ever tell you, ever explain to you. And that is exactly why you are where you are now. Everything is spiritual. Everything lives on a different plane, a different dimension to what you're viewing things on. And when you start to view things that way, you can start to reframe the way in which your mind works, and then you can start to draw those things to you, just like a fucking magnet. When you believe you are worth that body, you will draw it to you so aggressively. Situations will align, circumstances will allow for these things to happen, your environments will change to cultivate that growth, to allow that transformation to happen. But until you believe that you're worth it, it won't happen. And you'll be in this constant cycle of battling yourself to achieve something which you don't believe that you really should have. Change the way you think, change the way in which you view yourself, change what you expect of yourself, and it will come to you. And you will have your dream body. I absolutely assure you of that.